TV. This is Spawn TV coming to you live, and we are here in a joint interview with Senator A.D.Dillon, Moserado County Senator. He's going to be speaking to us as it relates to what was discussed today on Capitol Hill and other issues. So, Senator, welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies in the media. Thank you for looking to my office. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Senator, a lot of people expected that today the legislature should convene a session to deliberate on the president's proclamation of the state of emergency. And we've come, it's almost 2 o'clock now, and there hasn't been any session. You got any information?
But I don't know why you keep being about with this session. Who told you to have a session?
By virtue of the Constitution, the President's declaration, it says immediately after the declaration there should be a reconvened session by the legislature.
Of course, yes. Of course. So when the President laid something before us, has he laid anything? He hasn't. There's a leadership meeting of the Liberian Senate today, and we are being recalled back to a session by the leadership of the Liberian Senate, in keeping with the provision of the Constitution that when state of emergency is declared, the legislature should be in session and remain in session during the period and throughout the period of the emergency session or the state of emergency. Since we're on Easter break and this is an emergency period, an outbreak which is a threat to the existence of our country and the safety, health safety of our people, it is only about the right thing to do to recall ourselves back to session. And so after the leadership meeting today, there will be the announcement for the Senate to return to session tomorrow. This I am very, very sure of, and with my certain knowledge as a senator, that the Liberian Senate will return tomorrow for session. Anybody who was looking for us to hold a joint session because the President has said it, we have said before that there's any way we'll do joint session. The President cannot announce on radio that there will be joint session and then there's joint session. That's not how it happens.
So it is joint session or joint resolution?
The Constitution talks about joint resolution. We can decide to meet jointly as 2 chambers, or we can do it separate chambers but concur.
Okay.
But the President thought that joint resolution just automatically means joint session. So he told you and the public we were going to hold joint session when nothing of such was planned.
So meaning the President has like 4 days to present his communication going to raise the 3, I'm very sure.
Yeah, in keeping with the Constitution, the President has no later than. That means it can't go beyond 7 days.
Okay, Senator Dillon, while Liberian people await you to come back and discuss this state of emergency, I'm talking about the lawmakers. There are so many concerns out there in the public. You, as the senator of one of the senators of Moserado County, what is your major target when it comes to the benefit of your people if you are asked or allowed to put forth some of the additional information or pieces of information that are needed to enhance the state of emergency?
You see, when we work together as government, our people won't be asking us individually. You see, when our people get to understand how we function as a government, who does what and who's responsible to do what, sometimes it will save us. This legislature has created this bad impression with the people that their burden is in our individual pockets. Nowhere in the world that legislature does the expenditure of government money. The legislature, our legislature, the U.S. Congress, the legislature approves budget, does the appropriation, passes it into law, and turn it over to the executive to spend government money wisely for the country and the people. Lawmakers don't spend government money. Lawmakers only receive pay. Even though I say the pay we receive here too much, but lawmakers only receive their pay. We don't spend government money. It is the executive through the president and the finance minister that can spend government money.
Lawmakers do suggest.
So that's why I said we pass the budget and send it over to the executive to implement it. So if the president take government money and do Weah project with it, and we the lawmakers don't ask for accountability, then the people get right to come ask us what we're doing. If we put our feet down collectively, oversight responsibility, ensure that government money is properly used for the internal purpose and for the people will not come for it in our pocket. Our business here is to craft policies that will empower the people so they can be able to make life for themselves. Not for them to be living on our pockets, in our pockets.
Okay, what do you think, what do you think should be added to this state of emergency, looking at the economic crisis we are currently faced with, and the and the hazard we are faced with also?
I got your question. You see, you in the media and our people, understandably, have been asking us to do something about the president's state of emergency he declared. We can't do anything if we don't know what the measures the president taking. I think the only thing that we see happening, sadly, there are more rioting and more whipping. No other measure in terms of economic stimulus, in terms of the health stimulus, the manner of intervention on the health side, nothing. More rioting, more state police brutality, indiscipline, fear, and total confusion. We don't know whether the president put us in a lockdown or in a curfew. It is at the discretion of a state security to determine whether you can sit down on your porch or you should be in your room. A lockdown is different from curfew. You understand? Now, for us to put it into proper perspective in keeping with Article 88 of the Constitution, the president must officially submit something. It is that thing that the president has not submitted. It is disappointing that the president of Liberia would declare a state of emergency on the 8th of April to take effect on the 10th of April, and up to the 13th of April, he has not submitted anything to the legislature for us to look at.
Why do you think it's a delay? Why is it
because
delayed?
there was no plan. The president just jumped on the microphone. Two things. No plan. If there were plans, they were submitted. No plan. If the president had a plan and he knew what he was doing, he was never going to announce on radio that the legislature will have joint session the following day when there was no such arrangement.
Does that suggest he does not have advisors?
The president doesn't advise himself, so nobody will advise him. You don't even bring president advisor business in my ear. The man doesn't advise himself.
In his statement, he said in consultation with the speaker and the pro tem.
In consultation with the pro tem and the speaker, yes. The Constitution says the president may, in consultation with the pro tem and the speaker, proclaim and declare a state of emergency. I can consult you by giving information that I'm coming to do this because I'm required to consult you. But then the Constitution says the president should go beyond that consultation of the two persons, or with the two persons. The Constitution clearly says thereafter the president will lay before the legislature the body for appropriate measures, either to revoke the state of emergency or to modify it or to agree with the measures as he said. What are the measures? If you read Article 88 of the Constitution, the closing sentence sums up the entire emergency power of the president. In the end of Article 88, it says, where the legislature shall modify or revoke or concur with whatever the president said, the president shall immediately implement the decision of the legislature. So, and at that point, the president, Senator Sandro Johnson, coming in. Please welcome the senator. Yeah, please bring one chair. Let me call you say by me.
There's a chair here.
No, bring the chair. No, bring the chair. Okay. That's how I can be flowing. Thank you. Okay. So, and what are we concurring with? The beating of our people? Buying more rata? You ask the president and his advisors, the information ministry people, where is the president's plan, national plan for the state of emergency? You ask. They don't know where it is. Now you see, we are proactive here in the Senate. Thankfully, Senator Sandro Johnson is here. I'm sure he will speak to you guys as well. We are proactive. We are preparing our proactive input. For instance, we have made recommendations. We have called for us as government. We will review the budget. We need to talk to the finance ministry people, the LRA people. LRA, we all know, is the Liberia Revenue Authority, so that we know what's available, so that it can inform our decision here to call for the payment of 2 months' salary for civil servants, as well as encourage public sector to pay public sector employees, including private teachers. Similarly, we, government, we took some measures to impose tariff on some commodities. Say, for instance, 30 cents on gallon of petroleum product. I agree with that law. 30 cents per gallon on petroleum product for road fund, for us to develop our roads. I agree with that law. Right now, when we roll, we want to lay first. We want to fight together and defeat this coronavirus disease. We got to live as a people and survive as a country. Then we can return to our regular things like building roads. So let's suspend the 30 cents per gallon on petroleum product. Why? LEC is not stable, it's not regular, and more people live on the generators. So during this period, we reduce the cost of the petroleum product per gallon at the pump, so that people can be at least able to buy. While they are home, they can have some comfort with some electricity. We can intervene. The World Bank has given us $6 million in cash. The Liberian government is in possession of that money. You understand? Out of the $15 million. Since the issue is about rice and bucket, we want to appropriate here and allocate at least $1.5 million out of that money to buy sufficient rice, buckets, and other disinfectants and related stuff for us to make donations to recognized organizations that are taking care of people with disabilities and old folks. And recognized orphanages, yeah?
Yeah, all of those things you're talking about, are they plans that the Senate have agreed upon, or these are suggestions you put?
These are suggestions I'm making, Senator Sandro Johnson, Senator Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence. In our Senate chat room, the Senate Pro Tem has been proactive. We've been in that room meeting virtually. We are having to meet in person, and the Pro Tem asked us each to make our recommendation, proactive recommendation, in anticipation of what the president will send. Because whatever the president sent, we have the authority to modify it for the benefit of our people. So if the president was not thinking on certain things, we should be thinking. Maybe the president thinking on some things we are not thinking on. So we're waiting when he sends the stuff, then we'll collect our individual suggestions into a Senate decision. And then we can use that as our modifier to see whether we can concur with the House or the House can concur with us. So the president can be made, we will not be unreasonable. You cannot tell the president to implement something that we know is not possible. it would be unreasonable, and we're not going to play politics out of it.
Such as, in terms of what he has implemented.
Say, for instance, we can't jump out here just because we want the people to hear all talking. We say pay the people for 6 months, and we know no money. It's unreasonable. We can't be here and say and tell the president to do extreme things when we know it's not possible. It's wrong on our part. We got to, as national leaders, we got to review our budget, know our financial strength. That is why we have to talk to the Minister of Finance and the LRA people so we know what they're generating and what the finance ministry has through the central bank that's available. Then we're able to push. The World Bank has given us $40 million cash, $40 million in budgetary support. That money is available. Why have we not paid our people? So those are some of the things we are proposing individually, and it making sense to us as a Senate body, and we'll collect them into these things to make our...
Okay, let me come in.
But don't forget Senator Johnson as well.
Your suggestions are part of the argument put forward about economic stimulus while Liberians go through this lockdown. But they are subject to approval or disapproval.
By whom? Subject to who? By whom?
The government could decide to follow them, or they could disagree.
Which government?
The government led by President Weah.
Let me say this thing. We're asking different. The president knows that he has the authority to declare state of emergency. You know what he relies on? The emergency power chapter of the Constitution. And nobody can take that away from the president. That same chapter, provision of the Constitution says, when a state of emergency goes beyond 7 days, it must meet the approval of the legislature. And what the legislature approves is what the president will go by. He can't veto it, he can't add or subtract. If we reasonably approve something here for the country and the people, and the president fails to go by it, he'll be looking for a call for his impeachment, because it will be a violation of the Constitution.
Okay, before we join the next senator, I want to ask this question, because the fight against coronavirus is a collective fight, meaning whether you are in government, you are in opposition, we must come together as a nation. What are you doing, the opposition? What are you doing when
opposition paying taxes to government?
I'm coming.
Look, don't
what are
go
you
there
doing
without
individually?
question.
What are you
Don't go there
doing
without question with
individually
me.
as a party?
Opposition pay taxes to government. It's only in the country you're asking what opposition doing because we glorify and adore a president and making God. We pay taxes to the government.
Are you taking an initiative to
you
get
in
out
the
there?
media, haven't you seen Liberty Party make donations? Haven't you seen ANC and Communist make donations? We the one you're paying taxes to? You're paying taxes to Liberty Party? Which one of you pay taxes to ANC or UP?
No, we just want to know whether you
don't be
making a
asking me about
contribution.
what opposition doing. Ask me as a national leader what the government doing. That's why I'm telling you what we should do. Okay, so the whole thing about opposition, when last year any opposition appointed people at LRA? You're in the media, you need to help the population to understand whose responsibility it is.
Okay, so
let me just join my colleague, Senator A.D.Dillon. Firstly, I want to thank you. We had a meeting this morning on some of this issue that he has flagged, and I think it is important. We are not doing what we're doing now as an opposition bloc or unit. We are working as senators. We are working as national leaders. And because we have called on the government, other people to depoliticize the fight against the coronavirus. So that's why we're operating beyond borders, beyond political borders. And I hope the ruling party will take cue from this. To succeed in this fight, it should not be about CDC, it should not be about the opposition. It should be done together as a unit. If we do that, we succeed. Now let me add my voice to some of the things my colleagues have said. The government has received $6 million. Let me deal with the $6 million issue, because the $40 million is for budgetary support. But $6 million, all of $15 million for the fight against corona has hit. That money has hit Liberia and is in the possession of the government. Now, the government has to wisely use this money. And I hope that the president and those in charge are taking note. We are calling on them to ensure that this money, portion of this money, huge portion of this money be diverted towards the health institution. You have to look at the doctors, you have to look at the nurses, they are the one on the front line. You have to look at the communities. Like Makodi said, buy enough rest, buy enough bucket, buy enough PPEs, buy enough chloride soap, and let's take them to the community. We have to do that. This money should not be used like what happened in the Ebola case. Because once we realize that people are not accounting for the monies, we have no other option but to call on the World Bank not to release the other email. That until the 6 million is accounted for properly, and that people, it must be used for the purpose for which it was given. This money is not money for people to get rich. People should not take the money and put it into their pocket at the detriment of our people who are suffering. Then the corona issue will go, because already there are speculation rumors that people, the government is inflating the figures because they want money. The government should not make people to believe this. People are believing that. There's speculation that the corona issue, the government is inflating the number of persons so as to attract more money from the international community. I hope that is not true. And so once we can properly use this money, we will not tell the World Bank bring the other money. Mind you, whatever money the poor gave, Liberia, in some sense we have to pay back. For the 40 million, I think the government should start getting ready to pay people. We are asking the government, pay our poor 2 months, pay the civil servants. Even if you don't pay me as a senator, you don't pay us as senators, we care about that. But pay the civil servants so that they'll be able to buy food. Because if you say the state of emergency, or the state whose store must work, the people must be afforded the opportunity to be able to have money in their pocket to buy food, to buy all the materials for their home. If we don't pay them for 2 months, we don't put money in their pocket, they will not stay home, they will get outside to find food. The next call will be water and sewer LEC. Nobody should pay water and light bills right now. But while we are going through this state of emergency, the 3-day pre-call, like Makodi said, we did it through a legislation, adding the tariff on it. We call our codies to join us to suspend that. Because I tell you what, you know why it's important? If a man sitting in a community and maybe suspected something happening, if he doesn't have that 3-day call, he will not be able to call any health facility people or the police. So let's reactivate that, give it to them for the period while we go through this. Another concern is there are a lot of people in the street. They watch them, they got some other group now. Private securities are not national security actors. You got watch them in the street. You got the police in the street. You got a motorbike cycle people pulling gates. This is bringing confusion. The Minister of Justice has to come out clearly and state to the people who are the national security actors. Because I know we got police, we got immigration, we got army, we got NSA, we got fire service. So the private institution cannot form part of the national security because they have allowed them to have their own checkpoints, their own gates. They are harassing, intimidating, beating our people. The Minister of Justice has to speak to that. But we will remain very vocal. We will remain very straight to the point. My colleague, Senator Darrell, quoted the Constitution. President has declared a state of emergency. We don't have a problem with that. After 7 days, if we don't meet to modify it, it's no longer a state of emergency. Mind you, the Constitution says he can declare, and when he declares, he must come to us. We will tell him what to do. That's why we are back. The legislature is now on a normal break. We are just on a vacation for the Easter. And so it doesn't require any resolution to bring us back. We are back.
Correct.
So we don't need resolution to bring us back. We don't need pay.
Correct.
You got to pay us for coming back.
Correct.
We are on our break. We are in session. We just took a break for a few days because of the Easter. So now we're going to come back and look at the state of emergency and ensure that we modify it because our people in the 15 countries have been harassed. People, because I thought in the 7th day was for Maserati, but if you go to Bombi, go to Kemo, go to other places, it's almost like curfew in those communities. You got checkpoint all over the place. And so if we're not mindful, our good intent could end up into chaos, and then it will be unbearable, and we cannot control it. So we support the state of emergency. We support whatever we will do, but it must be done within the confines of the law so that people's rights are respected. So once again, I want to say thank you. The 6 million, again, before I close, there's not a secret. The 6 million is there. 15 out of the 6. That money is in the possession of the government of Liberia. The executive branch of the particular specific. They must now be able to tell us how, or we will tell them here in the state of emergency, when we modify it, how the money must be used to benefit our people. It should not be for a particular political party. It's not intended for people to put that money in their pocket. That the government set up a team so that our health workers and other institutions will benefit. If not, we are doomed. I want
to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you in the media. You are working under extreme circumstances. It is because of you two as well that we are being informed and our people getting the message. We want to thank you for your time and your sacrifices. We want to say thank you deeply, heartfelt, deep appreciation to health workers across Liberia. You sacrificing your lives, risking your lives for us to live. The Bible says, greater love has no man than this, than he who lays down his life for his fellow man to live. Health workers. You see right now, in Liberia and around the world, nobody talking about soccer stars. You don't hear anybody talk about Ronaldo and Messi right now. Nobody is talking about movie stars. You don't hear anybody talking about Genevieve or Murphy, Eddie Murphy or Rambo. Everybody talking about health workers. They are our national and global heroes. We too will be looking at the possibility of some incentive for these people. Maybe Senator Salo Johnson will entertain 1 or 2 questions, but this may be my final comment.
Let me get it too.
This may be my final comment. Okay. My final comment is to decide how the state security should behave will be our decision, will be left to us. Whether they should beat our people or not, it is in our hands. Whether MCC, the Memorial City Police, and their 6,000 citizens, whether they should be out tracing people, contact tracing, they need to be tracing the dead. MCC and Jefferson Kochi and his gang, they need to be tracing the dead. Let me say this. I know Memorial City Corporation jurisdiction does not extend to where I live. So they won't dare to come there. If they come there, they will not be entertained. These people are untrained. We have over 2,000 trained health workers to do contact tracing from the Ebola period. They are still here. Let's utilize them. If we can find them, or they know we're looking for them, let's make radio public service announcement. 2, if the number of 2,000 is not sufficient in that category, there are students, there are folks who have graduated from nursing school in this country. They know, at least they have an idea in this direction. Let's recruit them. The nonsense about the attempt to put people in their houses for citizens to be also in the name of contact tracing will not be allowed. Shut that goddamn thing now, or we'll shut it down.
Okay,
let me take 2 questions.
Yeah, you.
Senator, I listened to you talking about government paying civil servant, even if you will be left out. My question is, do you have this on your template to waive, at least to say, senators, you can give out 1 month or 2 months salary, or at least 15 or 20% to fight the coronavirus? Are you thinking on that?
I have no problem with that, absolutely. That would be a patriotic move, and we support that.
Are you willing to put that on the floor?
I said it's patriotic. It is a patriotic move. I will support that, and we'll push it for most of our colleagues to join us.
Yes.
Okay, hi, I'm Claudia Smith from Bush Chicken. The speaker spoke about state of emergency being prudent at this time. Is there any stipulations that the president put in his state of emergency that you are against? That
Well,
Senate wants to reorganize?
No,
some of that.
Yeah, let me answer a question. I can give you pretty loud. In the first place, we haven't seen a notice. The president, we haven't seen the Senate officially have not received any notice or notification from the president concerning the state of emergency. Maybe it is en route or maybe it is in the possession of the leadership. There's those documents that we are waiting for. Then they should be presenting them to us if they are around for us to deliberate on them, correct them, and modify them. So I don't want to speak regarding speculation, no. Once we receive those communications officially from the president, the legislature will act in keeping with the Constitution of Nigeria. We have that power to do so, to correct it and save everybody.
Final question.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Fan and I work for OKFM. I listened to you talking about accountability when it comes to COVID-19 fight. You talk about the 6 million that has just hit Liberia. My concern is, as we're talking about accountability at a very high plane, we are also considering the issue of health workers who are our heroes of hearing in this time. Are you, as senators, thinking about, providing some incentive for some of the health workers who are sacrificing their life, especially in Bombi and other most around the country?
Well, not only the health workers, but even the journalists. I left that out. You got 6 million initially. Money should be 15 million. We got 6 million right now, right? Put aside, do a budget and say, look, for all of the 15 million, we will give the press, the entire press institution, all over the country, maybe getting at $1.5 million. Without you going out to give the information to our people will not act. Because your voices will reach out there. You use both electronic and print media, other institutions to get to them. So let's start there, get them some money. And I would say all of the 15 million, give the health workers and the health institution, get them probably close to about 50 or 55% of that money. They need that money. So the other one, you put some into publicity, then you go, government must buy some bucket. But good chunk of the monies must be diverted. Be given to the health institution, given to the press people, and then we go to the communities. Don't give us some. Actually, we just made it clear. Pay the 772 money, don't pay us. We accept it. And so we stick to that. So we'll be very, I hope the president is listening because the money is in their possession. The legislature did not receive that money. The 6 million was received by the government through the executive branch. The 40 million is now for budgetary support. So at least we got no money to pay our people. We must pay them. Then they'll be able to abide by all of the rules and regulations concerning the stay-home action.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I said the last time as we're leaving the current just gone in the Capitol building, I'm prepared to even let go 50% of my money.
Yes, we talked about that.
Look, let me tell you something. Liberians are suffering.
We are.
The ordinary people are confused. The people already don't know what to do, and then their reward for submitting to the government is whipping. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. We serve our people. We in the interest of our people. It's time to make the sacrifices. If we can't find the money, let's feel it during this period. We're making recommendations for us to even pinch our money.
Correct.
Some percentage. Some senators are talking 30%. We pushing 50% of our current money to give back to our country and our people, so that we as a government can put it into proper perspective and manage it for their benefit. And it's time to do it, no better time. Let me close by saying, please, in the name of God, start beating the people. Make the people friendly. Kind words. Professionalism. Tell the people to go home when it's time for them to go home. My people, you're too. Citizens of Liberia, resident of Monserrado County. Amen. You're too. I know time hard. We're fighting for you. But while we're fighting for government to intervene, you keep yourself safe.
Good.
You keep yourself safe. Let me make the thing here simple. You see boxing, the sport boxing. You only need coach during the training session, so he can tell you how to move and what to do. During the game, the boxing game, when you're in that ring, when you put your head somewhere, your opponent punches, that coach will tell you to move it. My people, they think your coronavirus real. They think you ain't need coach. They think you need too much. First thing you must believe that coronavirus is here. It's real. It ain't no particular person. Other thing you need to know that you could get infected or somebody could infect you. Social distancing with no time half. You got to go 10 rounds for you and your children and your people to live. But if God in heaven sake, let's slow down from the too much crowding and all the things. I beg you. You don't invite police to be here. It's wrong for the police to be here. It's wrong for the army to be here or the security to be here. But stay home as much as you can stay home. One fund, which is true of us, they say when they tell everybody to stay home, everybody can count out to see who all stay home. If everybody stay home, then everybody can count us out to see who all stay home. Yeah. And the result, everybody comes out. We need to stop it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, folks, that's how we come to the end. James Kude from